fans here at that time, if you do well, they are really, really supportive. But if you start to do badly, then sometimes they are not really patient. So this was the difference. This was one of the risks in this job, but my job is always risky, you know. I think that Persija is 9 million or something like this. So this is definitely on that part, biggest club Southeast Asia. Even one of, I think, in top in Asia. There is not too many clubs that have this support. Where players start to believe something. At the halftime, they were telling, I said before the game, if we manage to keep draw, I think we will win. At the halftime, they were teaching me, coach, we will win, don't worry, you know.
Selamat datang ke episod special Bola Itu Live. Kita dah lama menantikan peluang ini untuk datang ke bumi Bandung. Dan sekarang kita berada di Bandung untuk menemu bual. Siapa lagi kalau bukan the one and only Bojan Hodak, Faiz.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Bojan Hodak.
We have actually been wanting to have you on the show, even from when you were back.
But you
in
ran
Malaysia,
away from us.
But you ran away from Malaysia. Way too early. You ran away from Malaysia.
I can see I cannot run away. You will hear you follow.
We come hunting after you wherever you go. Coach, I want to start by saying one thing, right? 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago, when you signed for Persib, me and Faiz on our show Bola Itu Live, we said that Persib fans should not worry because you might not, under Bojan, you might not play beautiful, you might not play nice, but you will always lift the trophy. And now you already have 2 trophies. Does that make us smart, coach?
Yes, this one, you look smart, you know, but I want to see proof. Show me the video. I don't believe.
We will show you the video. But first and foremost, coach, congratulations on the massive title win. I mean, we have followed your career all throughout, whether in Malaysia, you had a stint with the Malaysian national setup as well. And everywhere you went, you left an impact. And coming to Bandung, coming to Persib, a gigantic team, in a short space of time, you've left such a huge mark. What has this experience been like for you?
Lucky everywhere. This is the easiest to explain, you know, then they don't bother me. If I start to explain to you, oh, I changed this, changed that.
But you have to, coach.
Too long, then it's, you know, easier to say luck. So it's when I come here, there was my first meeting. I remember this was like funeral, you know, or really some things in the dressing room was not right. This one, I don't know what was happening before, but actually I have good players. If you don't have good players, you cannot win. So at the beginning, first few games was maybe not right because also I didn't know where is the problem. Once we identify problem, then we change 2 players. And then we start to, I think we never lose 15 matches. And second half also, I think we lost maybe 1 or something like that. So we really, when we entered, we were lucky there was different system last year. So top 4 teams was playing for the playoff for the champion. But before this playoff, I talked to many people. I spoke to Stanley. I told him I'm sure we'll win because we look really physically fit. We were hungry. We want to win this trophy. The other 3 teams were a little bit tired. So this was good for us. But this year was much more difficult because to win two times in a row in Indonesia, it's impossible. This is what nobody did before. So, and this year was Liga system. There was no any playoff. So at the end, I think it was tough, but we managed to do it. So it's
Coach, you are one of the most experienced coach in Southeast Asia. You have tasted football in Singapore, football in Malaysia, and now football in Indonesia too. I just want to know when you were in Malaysia or in Singapore before you came here. You were in Makassar too. You were in PSM Makassar before too. This is not the first Indonesian experience for you. Have you ever thought that one day you'd end up here at Persib?
You know, I don't really think too much in advance. For me, the things happening, like I remember when I signed for JDT or when I signed for Kelantan, this was basically phone call and you need to be tonight in Johor or tonight in Kelantan.
Sign and go.
And next day you sign. So same thing was here. They actually called me before the FA Cup final. So I told them I didn't want to talk. I said, can you call me in 2 days' time after final? They called me Friday. So basically on Sunday I talked to them and I agree everything. So for me in football, I don't pressure myself. I leave. You never know in football world, really, you never know how the things will go. So I didn't really think about this. And then when they give me I know lots of things about Persib before I come here, especially because I was working in Makassar. But now you ask me, did you ever think or dream? I didn't. This just happened. Sometimes things need to happen. They were looking for a coach. I had the releasing clause. So at the end is when I get all information, I decide to go for it.
There must be a reason why you accept that phone call at the end. What's the reason?
Because Persib is big club. It's one of the biggest Indonesian club. At that moment, they were number 16 out of 18 teams, so you cannot really go down
lower
much.
than that, yeah.
Then I check. The important thing is they are a relatively good team. They were paying salaries on time. So this is most important thing here. So once I got this info, I said, okay, no problem, I will go. Plus, I know 2-3 players that time, so I decided to come.
I think sometimes it's what makes it tricky for a head coach is there's a difference between walking into a new team at the start of a season versus walking into a team when the season has already started. That could sometimes be tricky. But what convinced you that it doesn't matter, this is still the perfect project?
You know, if you asked me 20 years ago when I was in position that I cannot choose which club I will go. Now, because I have some CV in Southeast Asia, now sometimes I can be choosy. So, as I said, this is one of the biggest clubs, and they were really down. So you know that they can go only up. Plus everything around, risky maybe was fans here at that time. If you do well, they are really, really supportive. But if you start to do badly, then sometimes they are not really patient. So this was the difference. This was one of the risks in this job, but my job is always risky, you know, so wherever you go. But at the end, it's good thing is that we start well, everything changed, and now it's fantastic. In the meantime, I must be honest, in the last 2 years, they're working with the fans. And now even happened this year that we lost one match at home. There was no one bad word. They were very supportive. So this is something that really changed in these 2 years in Indonesia.
You mentioned about big club, this being a big club, whereas your club before Bandung was KL. No disrespect to KL, but we know the fan base is not the biggest in Malaysia. But you have tasted big clubs before, JDT, Kelantan. Was that something that you wanted to experience again, the high of playing with full stadium one more time?
Look, you ask any coach, any player, the dream of every coach and player is to play in front of full stadium. This one really give you something special. I remember when I played my first final with Kelantan. We played Sime Derby and the stadium was full. It was over full. Yeah. It was over 100,000 people. And you know, when you enter this pitch, that time even they have these vuvuzelas. When you walk on the pitch, you feel some vibration. You feel the if you are a young player, I don't think that you feel your legs below the knee, you know? So this one really giving you some special feeling. That time was vuvuzela, so you couldn't hear anything. Here in, here out, you had headache, but it was a great experience. So of course, that wherever I go, I would like to play in front of full stadiums. And here is really fantastic support. When you ask me big club, now I'll tell you why it's big club. This club have between 14 and 16 million supporters. This is the biggest club in Southeast Asia. Huge. There is no any other club nearby. I think that Persija is 9 million or something like this. So this is definitely on that part, biggest club Southeast Asia. Even one of, I think, in top in Asia. There is not too many clubs that have this support.
And then right away after that FA Cup, you got the call, and obviously, as any coach would do, you would examine the squad first. Can you tell us your experience of looking at the squad for the first time?
Basically, I was waiting Saturday. We had match, so I was preparing the team, and then I just checked the squad, and I make 2-3 phone calls to ask about the players and situation, and they all will tell me, look, it's good players, but we don't know what's happening in the dressing room. So once you have good players, you need to find the way how to get maximum out of them, and this one is part of my job. So I think that I was lucky to manage to get this.
Well, one of the things that coach, me and Faiz, we talk about this all the time, and I don't want to sound like we are trying to praise you too much or try to get on your good books, right? But this is genuine and honest. One of the things that me and Faiz talk about a lot is the fact that wherever you go, you just find a way to win. how does that even work? I mean, you walk to a team like Persib, as you mentioned, the Indonesian league is not like any other league in Southeast Asia. It's super competitive. The number of winners are so much more compared to maybe the Malaysian Super League, for example. You walk into a team that's struggling, even though it's a big team, but it's struggling. And even here, the same thing that you did at Kelantan, the same thing that you did at JDT, the same thing that you did for a small team like KL, even 3 finals in 3 years, you come to Persib and do the same thing as well. How does that work?
This is probably asking me why, which for me, they asked me a few times why you do, wherever you go, you win trophies. I really don't know, because I'm doing things that I'm trying to simplify football. In the dressing room, there is certain rules that lots of people don't understand in the dressing room. You must respect everybody in the dressing room, from the boy who is 16, 17, who entered the first team, to the boy who is 35. But you cannot, they're not the same, so you need to treat them different way. One of the best example to me was given by late Ken Shelito, who was working with me, ex-Sabah coach and ex-Chelsea coach, who was working with me in AFC. He always told me, look, with players are with your kids. So your kid sometimes when he's down, you need to talk to him nicely. Sometimes when he's too much, you need to give him one. So it's same thing is with the players. The only thing is the players, you need to find a way how you can talk to. So probably this is number one. Number one is man management. If you have group of people, I have 30 people under me, plus I have around 15, 20 staff. So I have around 50 people. This is same like one company. If you manage to get maximum out of them, if you manage to convince them that we have the same target, basically they need to work for you. They need to not work for you, but they need to follow you to achieve something. So if you manage to do this, this is man management. So you need to have man management. You need to have, of course, tactics, other things, but this is number one thing. If you manage to convince them, we have this target, let's achieve, you can achieve something. If you cannot do this, you can be the best tactician, you can be the best technical, everything, but you will never do anything.
I love that you mentioned that, because when sometimes you ask football coaches that question, their answer would sometimes be tactics.
Yeah.
But I love that your
away.
response is man management. And it reminds me of a story. I don't know if you remember this, but there was a show that last time you did with me and Roshan. It was a podcast. And I remember you telling me this story about Pia in Kelantan.
Kelantan.
He needed to eat tom yum.
Pia on match day eat tom yum soup, so you cannot stop him this. Okay. This one, if he feel good to eat this, let him eat. Actually, you know, about lots of things about nutrition are important, but main thing is you need to feel good. If you eat, so people here they eat rice, people in Europe they eat bread or potato. So you cannot, I remember in Penang there was one coach who tried to introduce brown rice, jack potato.
Oh my God.
Come on.
I remember this coach.
He was there 6 matches.
But I remember, yeah.
But this is the things that you cannot, there is science. Today you know everything about, but also it's important mental thing. Is that, so you need to find that, and then once you can get maximum players, it's okay.
Coach, you mentioned about when you first came here, the team was 16, and the morale of the team is not that high at the time, and we can understand why. Do you remember your first week here? What did you change, and when did you start making big decisions, making big asks from them?
That time, first week, normally you trying to see you trying to organize your stuff, the way you work, show them the way you work, the way you like. Night before, I will send them trainings, what we are doing tomorrow. I will talk a lot with the players and ask information, because you need to have information and feedback. Once you have this, then after that you can start to change things. And some things you change naturally in the game. If things go well in the game, don't change. This is always like that. So it's important. One time when you start to get results, then somehow confident in football is very important thing. Once you get confident, you know, somehow, this one I have in KL, you are entering the pitch and you believe that you will win. Doesn't matter, is it 90 minutes, 120 minutes? This one I have in 2 situations in AFC match in Uzbekistan, which is maybe the best win of one club, Malaysian club in AFC. and I have this in a final versus JDT, where players start to believe something. At the halftime, they were telling, I said before the game, first half, if we manage to keep draw, I think we will win. At the halftime, they were teaching me, coach, we will win, don't worry. This one, that time, if you have the video, you will see that players basically were telling me that we will win the game.
Yeah.
Coach, don't worry.
Not you told them.
Yeah, so this is confidence in football. So this is after some good results. It's very important, but once you get it, then it's easy to get a good team.
You just mentioned about getting information and feedback from players in the first week. How does that lead to one of your first big decisions here? That is to take your goalkeeper from KL to here.
After I saw the way we were conceding goals, I have actually a very good goalkeeper here. Very good, one of the best Indonesian goalkeeper, Teja. But he didn't have anybody near him who will push him. So because of this one part of his career, he was maybe a little bit relaxed. And then he had few injuries, and definitely he was not in top form. So I decided I don't need left fullback as a foreigner, that I need goalkeeper, and this was one of top move. The other thing is we had Levi Madinda, who was playing in Malaysia also, but who is player who is a little bit far from goal. He can hold the ball, he can do lots of things, but we needed somebody who will be much quicker, much more dangerous. He didn't enter penalty box enough, and in 15 matches I think he scored only 1 goal, but he didn't have assist. Then we bring Stefano Beltrame, who in 13, 14 matches scored 4 assists, 4 and change a lot. So this is 2 things that can change a lot, and this one helped us a lot first season.
Very brave.
I remember that when you walked into places like KL, for example, you held on to a player within the dressing room who could be that leader, who could be an extension of you within the dressing room. And I suspect, I'm just guessing here, but
Paulo maybe
even Gigi, for example.
There was few.
Yeah.
Zafri
But
maybe.
within the Persib dressing room, who was characters like that you could count on from the first minute you walked into the team?
But you have few older players, but problem was that Victor and Jupe were leaders. They are natural leaders, but they were not part of first 11. So I talk a lot with them, and even I choose Jupe as assistant coach, one of assistants, and I think in the future he will be top assistant coach. But he was not in first 11. So then I choose Mark Locke because basically he was the only one that I know. and he maybe is not natural leader, but he's very positive guy, trying to push everybody to work. Even when you are down, he trying to lift the team. So this is the things that is important. So at the end, that's the reason why I choose him, and until today he stayed the captain.
Faiz, on our way here to Bandung earlier today, Coach, we were wondering, from your point of view, because when we look at it, right, from our point of view as football fans, the obvious difference that we see between Malaysian football and Indonesian football is the fan culture. Fan culture in Indonesia is on a completely different level. It's to the point where when we are in Malaysia, we are constantly looking for opportunities to come and watch football here because you want to feel that craziness, right? That's the difference that we see from a fan point of view. But from your point of view as a coach, what do you think are the differences between Malaysian football and Indonesian football?
Definitely fans. This is number one thing is that, in Malaysia you will have fans in semi-final and final. But in the Liga matches, you will know, but in the Liga matches,
you talking about
you
my
will know.
state, Kedah? No?
But
Kedah is actually decent in terms of fan, right?
They are not, but look, in Kelantan we didn't have problem. When I was in Kelantan, I mean, full stadium, non-stop.
Yeah, league games, everything.
But this is if you check averagely, this is one of the issues which Indonesia you don't have. You have huge number of fans in every game. Other biggest problem is traveling, because traveling here are huge. Like I told before, from my house, from my door to hotel in Papua, I need 10 to 12 hours.
Oh my God.
So this is the issues. When most of the matches we go 2 days earlier, so that we recover properly. So this is one of the biggest problems. The other problems are the same: training grounds, playing pitches. Quality is not the best. one thing that improved a lot here in last 2 years are referees, because I've been in Makassar and now I'm here. Still they're making mistakes, but it's not like before.
Would you say that they're better than the ones in Malaysia?
They improve a lot. Distance before was big, but now I don't think there is much difference. You know, which they show that they improve a lot. Youth development is somewhere the same. First team here improved a lot. Now Malaysia is trying to do something, but youth system is basically the same problem like in most of Asian countries. Youth development is poor. There is not enough tough competition matches for the young players, and this is why the team's still failing when they go to international competition.
Maybe Indonesian league had better number of games. Would you agree with that?
League here have 34 matches, so this is physically tough, and because of traveling and everything, there is big. I think here is a little bit more injuries than in Malaysia.
In Malaysia, yeah.
But this one is connected, I believe, to traveling and more matches, and you have more often 3 matches in a week and things like that. So this is one of the issues.
Coach, if you travel 12 hours from your house to Papua, 12 hours, how do you keep the squad fresh? How do you keep your assistant coaches fresh?
That's the reason why you're going 2 days, 2 days
earlier.
earlier. So you have 1 full day to recover, then you are okay.
Yeah, right.
Coach, maybe one final question. It feels like Indonesian football as a whole now is on a forward trajectory. I mean, the national team, the bigger picture work being done by Pak Erick Thohir and PSSI, and everything is designed to bring Indonesian football forward. From a Persib point of view, it's now back-to-back champions. But one of the things that Asian football fans keep wondering is, when will we get to see an Indonesian team making a huge impact on the continental stage? This year there were some big moments for Persib. I mean, that game in Singapore was an incredible spectacle. But do you think next year could be a better year for Persib to make a way bigger impact on the continental stage?
Erick Thohir had a fantastic idea, but he need time, you know. And he start one fire with national team, with signing these half Indonesian boys, and they start to have results. So they come to one certain level, they improve a lot in short time. This is normal, but now to go to the top, you need to be a little bit patient, because this is not easy. Also, I hope that they will continue with youth development, because if they start to have top national team, you need to have strong base. So this is like house. If you don't have good roots, house will collapse. So at the moment they are improving. The Liga is also improving. The referees are improving. One of the problems that Indonesian football has internationally is that because of the FIFA ban, the Indonesian teams didn't play in the international level, and they lost lots of points. So you need time to get it back. We get some points last year, Madura gets some points, but we need to have one result like JDT is non-stop lifting the teams. If not JDT, the Malaysian football will also be down. But then happened that like 2 years ago, when KL entered final, AFC Cup final, there was a lot of points. And this is why Malaysian clubs now in international level are high. You have one automatically Champions League, you have one in
ACL2,
automatically ACL2. We need time for that here. So this is where basically you need 1-2 good results. Then they can get extra team, and then overall the points will improve and it will look good.
So be patient is the key.
But you know, in football you cannot do everything overnight. People many times today in modern world, people think that this is PlayStation, then you press, you know, and then you suddenly, player improves from 60 to 90%.
It's not like that. Not at all. Coach, finally, the audience of the show, they are like us. They respect you. Do you have any words to them?
But look, you check their show, you see that they know something about football because their predictions are good.
You heard it from Coach Bojan.
But still, I want to see the video, okay?
Yeah, I think that sums it up really. Thank you so much, Coach Bojan. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
Congratulations again.
Congrats again on the double back-to-back title wins. On behalf of Faiz and I, on behalf of Bola Itu Life, it's been a real privilege following your journey from the days of Kelantan under Tan Sri Musa to the days of JDT with TMJ to the days of KL City with the partnership with Stanley Bernard in management, and now with Persib Bandung. It's been a real privilege, and long may it continue for you.
It's good thing is that Tan Sri Anwar Musa coming back, I think.
Yep.
This will be,
We are
I
hearing
think, good.
that.
Finally, one more team in Malaysia.
Have you called him that?
He SMSed me a few days ago, so this is why I know. But I'm sure if he go in, he will not just go in for fun. You know, I believe he will do a good job. And Stanley Bernard is more often here. Last 1 year, he's doing some advising job for Persib, so which is also good, and because he is helping a lot here. And I see JDT is doing well. I hope the TMJ will do in national team well as in the club, because national team for the years didn't do anything. By the way, I see that, you know, 2017-18, when I was in under-19 team, we have best result in the history. And they didn't want to extend my contract because I said the truth about youth development. But I see the few days ago, the national coach said the same.
Same. But now it's a different setup,
Okay.
different environment.
This is good. So I'm sure.
Maybe if you're there now, maybe the contract they extend. But thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Coach.
you. It's been a real pleasure.
Thanks.
Once again,
We
once
look
again.
forward
Thanks for
to
coming. You can enjoy the game
We'll see you
tomorrow.
during the parade.
Parade.
The parade.
Yeah,
By
it
the
will-
time this interview comes out, the parade would have finished, the
parade-
title
yep,
celebration
yep,
would
yep.
have finished. But
So you will have the videos.
yeah, we will have the
Please
full
let,
video.
please let us on the bus.
It's one unbelievable experience. You know, last year was unbelievable experience.
wait.
So I'm sure that. But last year was sad because 4 people died during celebration. It was between 2 and 3 millions on the street. So it's a really good experience.
Yeah, we absolutely look
Please let
forward
us on the
to
bus.
experiencing it. This is Bola Itu Life with Coach
Bojan.
Bojan Hodak.